everybody? It's your old buddy, Uncle Rich, live from Danbury, Connecticut. Guys, and today is show number 281, and today's date is October 14th, and the name of the show, guys, I'm sure everybody's familiar with what happened with Shepard Smith, how he abruptly left the mothership. And guys, it happened so fast, it took everybody by surprise. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the initial clip. And guys, at the beginning, when you listen, like me, you're going to be, wait a minute, what do you mean he quit? You know, because the way he left it, it's kind of, and I hope I'm using this word properly, ambiguous. I don't know, it just seemed like he kind of, well, anyway, we're going to play the clip and then I'm going to show you how I would have responded. So Kurt, number 2, please.
Even in our currently polarized nation, it's my hope that the facts will win the day, that the truth will always matter, that journalism and journalists will thrive. I'm Shepard Smith, Fox News, New York.
All right, guys, so you see, now look, they're fading away, and all he's giving as a sign of goodbye is a simple little wave. And how did Neil Cavuto react to it? Kurt, go back to it. What was his simple one-word reaction to that? Whoa! And guys, that's more or less the response that I got. When I saw that, I said, wait a minute, what do you mean? Shepard Smith has been here for 23 years, and he's walking out? But the way he said it, you know, to me, it really didn't sound definitive. That's the word I'm looking for. So we're going to play virtually the same clip again, but we're going to have Brett Baer validate the fact that it was his last day. And guys, I've got no sound out here. So you gotta kind of forgive me a little bit because I can't hear when the clips end. So bear with me tonight. And like we said, you know, the amp blew out. It's always something around here. So guys, be patient tonight and we'll try to get through this. But so Kurt, let's have, I believe I said number 03.
Even in our currently polarized nation, it's my hope that the facts will win the day, that the truth will always matter, that journalism and journalists will thrive.
Shepard Smith, he always says breaking news changes everything. This afternoon, breaking news changed everything. Breaking news that Shep was leaving Fox News Channel.
The end of an era.
Last broadcast today.
Guys, I hope you heard it because I didn't. But this is virtually what's happening. I mean, you know, why would somebody, what would make Shepard Smith do what he did? What's the real reason? You know how we always like to find out who's telling the truth? So guys, let's find out what the real reason is with clip number 4, Kurt.
On August 7th, Trump
watching
tweeted, quote,
fake news.
watching
Look at
fake
this.
news CNN is better than watching Shepard Smith, the
Trump
lowest rated show on
Shepard.
Fox News. More recently, on October 10th, Trump named Smith in a tweet that criticized the channel after a Fox News poll showed a slight majority of voters favoring his impeachment and removal.
Fox News doesn't deliver for us anymore. Like Bill Maher says, what do they think they are, Grubhub? You know, they're not delivering. But guys, we're going to have a lot of fun with that. And of course, when something goes astray, what does Fox always claim? There's a conspiracy. So Kurt, let's prove my point with clip number 5, please.
You can forget about the wild conspiracy theories out there that the Trump team wanted him out, that this means a new direction for Fox, when it was Shep who approached management last month and said he wanted to step down, and he was asked to reconsider. That's a fact.
All right, so I'm struggling to listen, guys, but if my memory serves me correctly, Bill Maher will straighten Howard Kurtz out with this next clip. So, Kurt, number 6, please.
But he sends his attorney general,
Yeah.
the attorney general of America,
Yes.
to talk to Rupert Murdoch, the head of Fox News, and the next day, Shepard Smith
is gone.
Okay, I think at the very end, let's see, I think at the very end he said, Shepard Smith is gone. Okay. And guys, the next clip we're going to show you. And guys, in this clip, you're going to hear the term ass lickers. And you're going to say, Rich, you can't use that language on a show like this. Guys, if the president can say it, I can say it. Just like he accused Biden of kissing Obama's ass. So if somebody on Bill Maher wants to call somebody from Fox ass lickers, hey, I guess from now on, this is the new normal. So Kurt, number 7, please.
That's why. Because the call was perfect.
Because they're watching Fox News and they're watching those ass lickers you're talking about, and they're hearing a totally different version of reality that's spun out every single night on that network. And the reality is, the thing that I would be freaking out if I was Trump, it's not just that they're not delivering for him. It was the Fox News poll this week that said 51% of the people in the country are now for not just impeachment, but removal. That's what we'll say. Fox News poll.
Right. That's what made him mad.
Fox News poll.
And when the aforementioned Brett Baer went on the air that night and put that thing up big, that was the thing that caused Trump to lose his shit.
51%. 51% of the total voters. And guys, I tell you, Uncle Joey doesn't know what to do. He's beside himself. And I tell you, so we saw that we had ass lickers. Well, now we're going to show you how Trump wants to have the bootlickers. So, Kurt, number 8, please.
Fox News pretends to be fair and balanced, the news organization, but they have tipped all the way over into Trump bootlicking, and I think Shep Smith simply said, I've had enough.
And guys, when we play that clip, I'm telling you, we're going to have a lot of fun. And remember how everything works on here. We play you the teaser clips, and then after the teaser clips, we play you the full-length edition. So that this way, if something really tickles your fancy, you'll know about where in the show it's going to be so you can fast forward it. Because we put everything up on YouTube as well as Vivo. I think that's how you say it, Vivo. But anyway, let's see. The one thing Trump and Fox always talks about is ratings. And guys, they do. They kick ass in the ratings. But what do the ratings represent? Revenue. And what is revenue? Money. So now you're saying, wait a minute. If we can make more money with the conspiracy theories and tricking the simple folk, if we can make more money doing that, why would we want to do news and tell them the truth? If we want to make the shareholders happy, we got to lie to everybody so the ratings go up, we make more money, and everybody, and after a while you say, wait a minute, Rich, please. I know. Guys, I know when I'm home and some of this stuff comes on TV and comes on YouTube or comes on Mediaite or any of the other side, I go, you got to be kidding me. And I say, I hate it when they take advantage of people like Uncle Joey and Kenny Johnson. But Kurt, did we play number 9 yet? If we didn't? Okay, so number 9, please.
shrinking the news department and building its right-wing entertainment hosts, because that gets ratings, and ratings gets revenue, and that's how they make money.
Ratings
it's
and
a real
revenue.
sad day for people who watch Fox News and want accurate information, because Shep was somebody who you could reliably count on.
And guys, the one thing they don't want to have is shrinkage. Remember the Seinfeld show where George comes out of the pool and somebody sees him nude and he, shrinkage, shrinkage. Oh, anyway, the next clip is going to show you more shrinkage. Kurt, number 10, please.
Yeah, no, I think it's very true that the news department, the news division at Fox News Channel has shrunk. And there are an awful lot of really good journalists at Fox News Channel. It's just that they're vastly outnumbered by the opinion makers. And the opinion makers are more interested in playing to people's bias than anything else. And it makes it very difficult for journalists to actually give people honest facts when the airtime is shrinking constantly.
So guys, when the news portion of Fox shrinks, that means that the echo chambers that repeat the stuff, and that's what watching Fox is like. It's like watching an echo chamber. One after, where they just repeat. It's like they have a morning get-together. They have a morning think tank, probably held by the Heritage Foundation, and they say, okay, here's the talking points for the day, and everybody works on them. And that's why when there's breaking news, and you see something like Neil Cavuto, where he's taken aback by what was his response? Whoa. Whoa. He didn't know what to do because his handlers didn't tell him how to handle the situation. Wait a minute, a guy that came in the same time I did is leaving the organization, and he's leaving today, and he's not saying goodbye. There's no bon voyage party. There's no celebration. He just walks out, and that's it. Well, guys, he's going to end up walking back into other people's lives because a guy like Shepard Smith, he won't stay quiet. So let's see how the echo chamber gets affected with clip number 11, Kurt.
I just think for now, it's sad to see how the echo chambers that we are all living in have become a little more closed up today because he won't be on Fox.
Look, NBC paid Megyn Kelly $23 million and she was a failure. Give Shep Smith a chance. He's a hell of a lot more likable and true and authentic.
Yeah. And then, guys, you ask yourself, why did he leave? And the answer's simple. He couldn't take it. Guys, there's only so much you can take. You know what I mean? After a while, it gets to the point where you say, look, boss, I ain't doing this for you no more. And guys, I believe, and I might have this wrong because, my hearing's a little impaired, but I heard in one of the clips, we're going to play it. I think you're going to hear the number twice. I think he makes $13 million a year. $13 million a year. Now, even if my hearing's bad and he only makes $3 million, can you imagine $3 million a year to do a 1-hour TV show? Man, I'd do it for half that. Right, Kurt? Kurt said, we'll do it for a quarter of the price. But guys, why do we do it? Because I'm telling you, I've had it. I've had it just like Shepard Smith has had it. Just like I couldn't take it, he couldn't take it. So Kurt, we played 12, right? And the reason why he couldn't take it. Okay, hit 12 and you'll see why he couldn't take it.
And he left because he couldn't take it anymore. Sources tell me that he was simply appalled by some of the opinion hosts' comments. He felt that he had been marginalized. There wasn't room for him anymore. And I think this is not just an end of an era for Fox. It's a sign of what's happening to our country, that there isn't room for truth-telling on a channel like Fox.
Okay. And guys, now we're going to show you why he couldn't take it. And Shep put up a barrage of truths. And Fox and truth don't go in the same sentence together. And guys, he was one of the only sources, besides Juan Williams, who's another one of my favorites, but Juan is on the 5, he doesn't do his own show. But who knows? Maybe. But anyway, guys, so we're going to play the next clip for you, and it's just lie after, it's Shepard Smith exposing lie after lie after lie that Trump just comes out with. And guys, I want to tell you, he comes out with some doozies. So Kurt, number 13, please.
Here's some of the examples of times he spoke the truth.
Our reporting begins this Monday with President Trump's latest misleading and xenophobic eruption of distraction and division. He decries fake news that isn't and disseminates fake news that is. Think China pays the tariffs. The wall is going up. Historic inauguration crowds. Russia probe is a witch hunt. You need an ID to buy cereal. Noise from windmills causes cancer. It's endless. There is no known evidence to support President Trump's conspiracy theories about Biden's activities, as we have reported here repeatedly. The president also said in the tweet that the wall is going up rapidly. It is not. As we just reported, there is no new wall. The forecast showed East Coast Dorian. The Sharpie's magical addition added the coast of Alabama. Why would the President of the United States do this?
Guys, it's hard to believe, isn't it? But now we're going to have more fun, because now we start to go to the full-length clips. So we're going to go back to the beginning with number 14, and we're going to find out what the real reason is why Shepard Smith left. And guys, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to keep up playing the same clip on my machine, and we'll probably really screw it up. But like we said, we blew out the amps. We got no monitor. So I'm kind of winging it here. And it's kind of hard to do when you can't hear too good in the first place. So anyway, hey, but let's have some fun. So Kurt, number 14, please.
So recently, I asked the company to allow me to leave Fox News. After requesting that I stay, they obliged.
Long-standing anchor known for his independent voice on Fox News for over 20 years, Shepard Smith announced his departure on Friday from the network. Smith's critical coverage of U.S. President Donald Trump over the years has put the anchor on the receiving end of some of Trump's disapproving tweets.
I mean, if he's leaving, I assume he's leaving because he had bad ratings.
On August 7th, Trump tweeted, quote, "Watching fake news CNN is better than watching Shepard Smith, the lowest rated show on Fox News." More recently, on October 10th, Trump named Smith in a tweet that criticized the channel after a Fox News poll showed a slight majority of voters favoring his impeachment and removal. But in the end, Smith took the high road.
Even in our currently polarized nation, it's my hope that the facts will win the day, that the truth will always matter, that journalism and journalists will thrive.
A series of rotating anchors will host the 3 p.m. time slot until a new program is announced.
All right, guys, I was able to get some of it, and that's how we have to leave it. The truth will rule the day. Hey, guys, after a while, the way it works out, the way I've gone through my whole life is a lot of if you screw up and if you get something wrong, if you make a mistake, just come out and admit it. Just get it over with. If you screwed up and you say to somebody, "Hey, I screwed up, I'm sorry," rather than try to hide it. And then for the rest of your life, you got to try to remember what story you told who to what to. So guys, just make it easy. Just tell the truth. That's what we call the show. Who's telling the truth? And the next clip is going to be Howard Kurtz with the conspiracy theories. And why? When something doesn't fit Fox's point of view, you make a conspiracy theory out of it. And I tell you, guys, my favorite was the sex slaves, Hillary's sex slaves, in the basement of the pizza place that had no basement. But guys, the sad thing was the guy went in there with an automatic rifle because he wanted to see the sex slaves. And this is what happens in America. All right, so anyway, let's have some fun with Howard Kurtz and his conspiracy. Kurt, number 15.
Shepard Smith, who has been an anchor at this network since its launch, stunned the media world and most of us here with this announcement on Friday.
So recently, I asked the company to allow me to leave Fox News. After requesting that I stay, they obliged. Even in our currently polarized nation, it's my hope that the facts will win the day, that the truth will always matter, that journalism and journalists will thrive. I'm Shepard Smith,
there you
Fox
go.
News, New York.
Tributes poured in from the daytime anchor's colleagues, from Brit Hume to Sean Hannity. Fox News President Jay Wallace called him one of the premier newscasters of his generation.
A better newsman you probably cannot find. Again, a bigger, more emotionally connected to humankind you cannot find.
And there was praise from some at rival networks, especially those who saw Shep as consistently challenging the administration. Now, it's no secret that President Trump was no fan of Shep's, sometimes jabbing him on Twitter, and on Friday he made a sarcastic comment about his departure, questioned his ratings, although Smith was #1 in his time slot, before saying, "I wish Shepard Smith well." You can forget about the wild conspiracy theories out there that the Trump team wanted him out, that this means a new direction for Fox, when it was Shep who approached management last month and said he wanted to step down, and he was asked to reconsider. That's a fact. Whether or not you like Shep Smith's outspoken approach to fact-checking the White House, this is an extraordinary newsman, one who loves spending hours on the air when a hurricane struck, and he left his mark. That's it for this edition of Media Buzz. I'm Howard Kurtz.
I got to remember I'm about a second behind you guys. But anyway, this is kind of working out. At least I can hear what he's saying. So. But guys, we're going to keep having fun, and I tell you, this is going to be the best clip of the night. This is Bill Maher, and I want to tell you, he takes no prisoners, and pay close attention to how he puts it. And I tell you, the more you listen to Bill Maher, the more you're going to understand what a joke Trump and his administration really are. So, Bill Maher, the comedian, proves Trump's a joker. So, Kurt, number 16, please.
He said about Fox News this week, they're not delivering for us, like they're Grubhub. Yeah. Not delivering for us? Again, the narcissism, to just say that out loud, to voice that interior monologue, is an amazing sickness. I mean, I can see him thinking that, but you wouldn't say that. Okay, so then he sends his attorney general. Yeah. The Attorney General of America to talk to Rupert Murdoch, the head of Fox News, and the next day, Shepard Smith
is gone.
The big critic on Fox News.
The straight newsman, let's put it that way.
Yeah,
they're a straight news guy. Shep's calling it down the middle.
A little bit of a civil war there at Fox News. Yeah. Just people, not the primetime people are ass lickers, but guys like this. I mean, come on. No,
I don't.
Sean Hannity?
I don't think that you can say that about Bret Baier. I think that's very.
I said I said the primetime people.
I think of primetime differently, being from the East Coast.
I think we put Bret Baier in a different.
You're right, Bret Baier. Right, he's on the other side of it a little bit. That could be a
straight news guy.
Right.
Straight news guy. The primetime people are.
But I read this week that 4 in 10 Republicans think that Trump did not mention Biden in the Ukraine call, even though Trump himself admits it.
Yes.
Well, the call call was perfect.
4 and 10.
That's
You
why.
believe
Because
this
the call
guy's-
was perfect.
Because they're watching Fox News and they're watching those ass lickers you're talking about, and they're hearing a totally different version of reality that's spun out every single night on that network. And the reality is, the thing that I would be freaking out if I was Trump, it's not just that they're not delivering for him. It was the Fox News poll this week that said 51% of the people in the country are now for not just impeachment but removal. That's what a Fox News poll.
Right. That's what made him mad. That's what made him mad.
And when the aforementioned Brett Baer went on the air that night and put that thing up big, that was the thing that caused Trump to lose his shit. Okay. It was like, you're not just not delivering for me, you're shoving it in my face.
All right. Thank you, panel.
You're not just delivering for me, you're shoving it in my face. And guess what? You deserve to have it shoved in your face. And why? Like it says in the Bible, your favorite book. You shall, as you sow, so shall you reap. Right? Well, hey, I'll tell you what, you're in for a whirlwind of stuff, and we're going to make sure that it happens. And S.E. Cupp did such a beautiful job of giving Trump the old bada bing. So, Kurt, let's have some fun with number 17, please.
In a move that sent shockwaves through cable news yesterday, Shepard Smith, longtime anchor at Fox News, announced it was his last day. He is leaving the network.
It's been an honor and my pleasure. Even in our currently polarized nation, it's my hope that the facts will win the day, that the truth will always matter, that journalism and journalists will thrive.
According to our own Brian Stelter, Shepard Smith decided last month that he had simply had enough of the president's lies, enough of the president and his own Fox colleagues attacking him for his coverage. We've talked here before about a growing rift between Fox hosts, Shep, Andrew Napolitano, Chris Wallace on one side, Fox's pro-Trump lineup on the other. Well, that rift just took a hit. Senior Fox employee tells CNN that Shep's departure, quote, feels like a death in the news division. Here to discuss are Republican strategist Michael Singleton and assistant editor at The Washington Post, David Swerdlick. David, what did you make of that sudden announcement?
So I see, first of all, if you're going to sign off, that's the way you sign off. You don't leak it out. You just do your thing.
Yeah.
I'm out of here, drop the mic, and walk
Your
out of the studio.
problem to sort it out.
Well played by Shep Smith. Here's the thing. I think you get to a point, if you're Shep Smith, that you have to say, look, I'm a news guy, and we're tipping too far away from news. Look, if you think about an outlet like Breitbart, and I'm not every day in the business of saying something nice about Breitbart, they don't pretend to be something they're not.
Right.
And you can respect them for that. Fox News pretends to be fair and balanced, a news organization, but they have tipped all the way over into Trump bootlicking, and I think Shep Smith simply said, I've had enough.
Well, Michael, I have been stunned, and I have lots of friends at Fox,
so do I.
stunned to watch anchors of the network mocking and attacking another anchor, Shep Smith. That would never happen here. Wouldn't happen for very long, let me tell you that. I mean, was that sort of the breaking point? And do you think Fox might reconsider just allowing this sort of Hunger Games to play out?
The Hunger Games to play out. And guys, you know, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what Fox will let them do. So let's continue the fun with SE, clip number 18, and this is part 2. Kurt?
Was that sort of the breaking point? And do you think Fox might reconsider just allowing this sort of Hunger Games to play out on television?
I would imagine so. And I would say about Shep Smith, it takes a significant amount of courage to say what you're thinking inwardly, outwardly, to say this is wrong. It takes courage to go against the tides. It takes courage to stand alone when the President of the United States is attacking you. It takes courage to speak out when your own colleagues are attacking
throwing you under the bus,
And so I guess at some point, Fox News, which I watch Fox News, I respect a lot of the people at Fox News, is going to reach a point where they have to ask themselves, where do we want to find ourselves on this line in history? Do we want to say we woulda, shoulda, coulda? or do we want to say we made the right decision?
I think they're just looking at the ratings, and the ratings are killing it. I mean, David, if I'm Brett Baer or Chris Wallace or Shannon Bream, people I know, people I respect, I'm wondering how much longer to stay. Do you think they're having those thoughts?
I would have to guess that they're having those thoughts, although I will say with Shep Smith's departure, someone like Chris Wallace now is in the control position, because if he walks out the door, Fox can't pretend at all that they're a fair and balanced, neutral news gathering organization. So the fact that one anchor of the news division has gone out the door gives the others a little more power to say, hey, if I leave, you guys are just Newsmax light.
And it has to be concerning to some of those folks. If they go too far to speak truth to power, as Shep said, will the network back them if the president attacks them? Will the network back them if one of the more opinion hosts goes after them? And as we see with Shep, the answer is no.
So guys, if Chris Wallace walks out the door, then Fox isn't news anymore. They got to take the word news away, and they should just use Fox opinion. No, not news, Fox opinion. Guys, if you did that, and if you said to everybody, I want you to understand, you're watching an opinionated TV program, and it's opinionated towards the Republican Party. And as long as you understand that, and we're on the same page, then that's fine. But don't call yourself a news organization if you're going to give opinions. Right? Kind of simple, isn't it? Even the simple folk will understand that, right, Kenny? Oh, I love Kenny Johnson, but I tell you, I don't know. The asylum hasn't been letting him use his laptop too much. Kenny, I hope everything's all right down there. Because I'll tell you, guys, if you want to have some fun, join us on Facebook. Kenny's a real treasure. And speaking of treasures, we're going to play the first part of a clip from Ari. And guys, we're just going to keep having fun. So, Kurt, number 19, please.
You see Shep Smith leave saying facts matter after fact-checking the Trump administration. What does it mean?
It's a big loss for Fox News Channel. And it says something about the way in which the cable channel has been for years shrinking the news department and building its right-wing entertainment hosts. Because that gets ratings, and ratings gets revenue, and that's how they make money. It's a real sad day for people who watch Fox News and want accurate information, because Shep was somebody who you could reliably count on.
Do you think Shep leaving leaves other people with more power? Does it tilt the network towards being a partisan defender of the government? Because there's a difference between doing news, doing some discussion of ideas, opinions, and ideology, or being aligned with a government.
Right now, I think probably the news divisions at Fox are just plain shell-shocked. And as you saw on the face of Neil Cavuto when he heard it live for the first time. And so one of the things that will be telling in terms of what happens next is that Fox has said that they will have rotating hosts in the slot that was Shepard's in the weeks or days ahead. And it'll be interesting to find out whether or not these are journalists who tell the truth or whether these are opinion makers who are essentially coddling the president and his allies.
Were you surprised when you heard this today?
Not entirely. Shep and I go way, way back. We were hired together at the launch of the network, and he gave me my nickname.
Really? Well, look, I think we have some of that just to see the younger folks. We can put that up, both of you guys together. He named you Campaign Carl?
He did, dirty little secret, Shep was never particularly happy about covering campaign politics. He thought that once the election season was anything they were going to say, because they were going to tell you whatever you want to hear. And in many ways, he had to face, as I did, an awful lot of opinion hosts telling viewers what they wanted to hear as opposed to what they might need to know to be fully informed.
All right. So what other people would, what they wanted to hear. And that's what gets me about when you watch Fox News. It's not what's true. It's what people want to hear. What like-minded people want to hear. They want to hear the same thing. When you throw a curveball at them and you tell them the truth and you show them a chart like the globe is warming, they don't know what to do. And I just do a curve to Kurt to see if he's on his toes. But guys, one of the things I love to do is show people whenever, there you go, hey, Kurt's on the ball. Guys, when you show somebody a chart, they can't argue. It's as plain as the nose on your face. You could talk about something, but when you show it, Kurt, if you got any other ones, just bring them up, And this way people can see. Look at that. Look at that. It's the amount of carbon in the air, guys. In 600,000 years. And look at that chart. Look at that temperature chart, and look at the temperature just, skyrocketing. But you see, a guy like Uncle Joey will look at a chart like that and he'll deny it. Why? He has to. He's a Republican. All right. So anyway, Kurt, I think we were about to play part 2 of Ari Melba. And so that would be number 20, am I right? Okay,
and
so
in many
20.
ways, he had to face, as I did, an awful lot of opinion hosts telling viewers what they wanted to hear as opposed to what they might need to know to be fully informed.
We showed how much the president emphasizes Fox as a direct part of his political appeal last night. He also was asked about this today. Take a look.
Did you or your administration pressure Fox News to get rid of Shepard Smith? No, I don't know. Is he leaving? Oh, that's a shame. Is he leaving because of bad ratings? If he's leaving, I assume he's leaving because he had bad ratings. He had the worst ratings on Fox.
Everything with this clown is
He did
ratings.
not have the worst ratings at Fox, and he did a great job covering the news. And he was all over the world, worked doggedly, had a great team, and the executives know that this is a loss. When Fox would say or do things that were demonstrably untrue, Shep would be the person that they would point to as a measurement of good journalism. In fact, they used to do it with me occasionally, too. The reality is that without Shep's show, Fox News' 24-hour news wheel is down to really the Bret Baier show, because Chris Wallace is actually on a broadcast channel. Most of the rest is predominantly talk. It's predominantly supportive of a president who is violating all kinds of American values, laws, rules, precedents, et cetera, et cetera. And the American people need to hear that so they can make good judgments. Otherwise, it's just propaganda, and that's the stuff of third world nations, not the one that prides itself as a leader of all nations.
Wow. You worked there, you worked with Shep, you mentioning that being like a third world nation propaganda is striking. Take a listen to a little bit of Trump and the Fox host, this relationship we've been tracking.
And Laura Ingraham was knocking him out of...
And Laura Ingraham. Hey, guys, the other day I'm listening to a rally, and Trump is praising Hannity and Tucker Carlson and Fox and Friends and Maria Bartoloma and Judge J. And I'm saying to myself, holy mackerel. It's just unbelievable. And, these people are like a tag team. They come and they go. Hey, Judge Janine, you're up. Okay, here I go. And guys, I tell you, now you see why they make me Meshuggah. But the next clip we're going to play, now these are former Foxstitutes. These are people that worked for Fox, and you're going to see Carl Cameron again, and they sold their soul with Fox. And the one girl, Rosinski, she actually sued Fox News But anyway. We're going to have some fun with it. So, Kurt, can you bring up number 21, please?
It speaks volumes, though, that people wonder pulling the strings. I mean, Julie, people do, I think, legitimately wonder about the Murdochs and their role in shaping Fox News and bringing it further to the right.
There's no question. I don't know how much further it could go to the right. I think there are business interests the Murdochs have that the president and the government of the United States can benefit. They can benefit from that. And so as a result, obviously, being on the side of the president, helping the president helps their business interests. I think that's a business decision that they've made. Having said that, I think there's an absence of leadership at Fox News. When I was there, Carl, when you were there, I think whatever you thought of the leadership, there was a very strong person at the helm who was able to rein a lot of this in. And I think today, in the absence of that, what you have are people like Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity essentially running their own fiefdoms and not really allowing others to have any kind of airtime. And so I have spoken to a lot of people who are not Democrats or liberals by any stretch of the imagination, unless you think that liberalism, unless you think the truth has a liberal bias. These are just people who are fact-checking the president in real time. They're seeing their airtime cut off. They're not seeing as much access to the air as they used to have. And that's a business decision that I think the Murdochs are making. And I think it's unfortunate because the Fox News audience is not served well by having uncritical views. Of what the president is saying. There is no dispute about the fact that the president doesn't always say the truth, and unless somebody says that on Fox's air, there's no way the audience would ever know that, and that's really unfortunate. Shep was very good at that. I hope somebody else
Julie, you
does.
did sue Fox for harassment and retaliation. Do you have and you mentioned some of these executives who are now in charge. Do you have a personal axe to grind against them?
I absolutely have no personal axe to grind against any of them. In fact, the person who I mentioned is no longer there as an executive. Neither of the two people who I sued personally are there as executives anymore, so I don't. This is purely from talking to people who are still at Fox who feel very strongly that Roger Ailes, actually whom I did sue, would never have allowed this to happen. This is actually a compliment to Roger Ailes. He was a very strong executive.
Yeah, I hear that quite a bit in interviews as well. Connor, you were going to jump in? Sorry, Carl, go ahead. Yeah, Carl.
See that? She said she personally sued Roger Ailes. And I guess that's what you do when you're in a situation like that. You know, I don't know, maybe they got so much money they don't know what to do with it. I don't know. But we'll try to find out with part 2 of the Foxtitudes. So, Kurt, before you start it, let me try to get it. Okay. All right. Ready? Number 22. Hit it.
That Roger Ailes, actually whom I did sue, would never have allowed this to happen. This is actually a compliment to Roger Ailes. He was a very strong executive.
Yeah. I hear that quite a bit in interviews as well. Connor, you were going to jump in? Sorry, Carl, go ahead. Yeah, Carl.
Brian, I think one of the things that's important to remember here is that over the years, there was not a history of Fox opinion hosts criticizing the journalists. And over the course of the Trump administration, more and more the opinion hosts have been criticizing the journalists. And so that really hits
the journalists.
Straight journalism. And I think Julie's pretty much nailed it. That's a huge part of what frustrates the journalists at Fox News, because they shouldn't be arguing with people who are there to comment on the news and completely neglect what was just reported by the journalists.
And a lot of Fox critics say those journalists are complicit by staying at Fox. The journalists there tell me they're just trying to make the network better, trying to do the right thing. So Connor, last word to you. I mean, as someone who worked with Shep, How did he make you a better journalist? How did he improve your work?
So one of the things that he did, and I loved being on his show, because his show, his entire sort of organization pushed you to give the fuller context. And I think one of the things that's tough about reporting at Fox is there were a lot of anchors who wanted to stay in a very narrow lane and answer questions and look at a story from a very specific point of view. Shepard always made sure that you brought in the full context of a story, and so that key details didn't get lost in your reporting. That's something that Shepard specifically did that a lot of other hosts didn't do, at least for myself in terms of reporting overseas. He wanted a fuller context. Even on the days where Shep wasn't there because he was maybe off on a Friday during the summer, his producers and his team there always push you to give the full context. Again, that's something that I think is going to be lost in the long term with his leaving Fox. I'm not sure there are that many reporters who are willing to give the fuller context unless they're pushed by an anchor to do so. It's easy to get airtime on Fox if you just toe the sort of conservative line in terms of the reporting there.
We're describing why this is so significant. Connor, Carl, Julie, thank you so much for being here. Still to come. My new reporting on what's next for Shep.
You have to toe the conservative line on Fox. Any questions? It's really simple. There's only one way, or it's the highway. Don't tell them the truth. Tell them what we want them to believe. Right, Uncle Joey, Kenny? Right, guys? And guys, the next clip is going to be with Anna Navarro, and she takes no prisoners. So, Kurt, let's prove my point with clip 23, please.
Look, sometimes you do things in life that are not about money, that are not about what's best for your career, but it's about what's best for your heart and for your soul. It's about integrity. It's about principles. And I admire that. He's walking away from a very hefty salary, if reports are true, and I think he's doing it for all the right reasons. He's standing up for what he believes, and he's saying, look, you know what, self-care matters, and being consistent, when being in a place that is consistent with my principles and what I believe matters. And damn, you just have to admire that.
No,
in 2019, I mean, think about it.
He was worth every bit of what they were paying. What's next for him? I just have 20 seconds here.
He has a non-compete. He's not going to be on TV anytime soon, but his spokesman says he's not retiring. That signals to me he does want to be back in the public eye someday. I just think for now it's sad to see how the echo chambers that we are all living in have become a little more closed up today because he won't be on Fox.
Look, NBC paid Megyn Kelly $23 million, and she was a failure. Give Shep Smith a chance. He's a hell of a lot more likable and true and authentic.
Yeah. A great guy, the consummate professional, an amazing journalist. Shep, we wish you the very best. And I'm going to say congratulations to you. Enjoy your life with you and your partner, your dog, and just enjoy it. We're really proud of you.
Congratulations to you, your partner, and your dog. Now, wait a minute. I'm not a Rhodes Scholar, but I think Shep just came out. But anyway, guys, the other day, and I'm telling, this is going to freak you out. The other day, I'm watching, I don't know what it was, doesn't matter. And let's say they were talking about climate change. And the guy that was talking, the man that was talking was a senator or a congressman. I don't remember who it was. And I don't remember the exact issue. But that's not the point. The point is he's having a conversation and he candidly says, well, me and my husband went to a global warming rally. And I sat there and I said, me and my husband, that makes you, and guys, you know, I'm for equal everything. I really am. But that kind of set me back. And I said that to my wife. And I explained the situation. She goes, so? What took you by surprise? And then I said to my number one Who's Telling the Truth fan, I said the same thing to her, and she goes, Rich, so? She goes, this is, to the kids today, this is not an issue. And I go, well, it's not an issue with me either until I see it face to face. And it just took me back. So guys, I'm just telling you, even someone who's looking for equality as much as I think some things take getting used to. But guys, we're not going to have any trouble getting used to the next clip because this is coming from, let's see, I got to try to figure out where I am here. Because this is coming from Erin Burnett. And guys, I'm telling you, these guys just had a lot of fun. So Kurt, number 24, please.
New tonight, Chief Fox News anchor Shep Smith abruptly leaving the network. Now, Shep was one of the first hires at Fox News more than 2 decades ago. He's been a consistent defender of the facts, clashing with the network's opinion hosts in recent years.
Defender of the facts.
Even in our currently polarized nation, it's my hope that the facts will win the day, that the truth will always matter, that journalism and journalists will thrive.
And he concluded by saying, I'm Shepard Smith, Fox News, New York. And the next show rolled. It was a stunning moment. Our chief media correspondent, Brian Stelter, is out front. Brian, what are you learning about why now for Shep and why in such a stunningly surprising way?
He's one of the only news anchors left on Fox, and he left because he couldn't take it anymore. Sources tell me that he was simply appalled by some of the opinion hosts' comments. He felt that he had been marginalized. There wasn't room for him anymore. And I think this is not just an end of an era for Fox. It's a sign of what's happening to our country, that there isn't room for truth-telling on a channel like Fox. He presents facts about President Trump, oftentimes the facts that others leave out. You know, I've been working on a book about Fox for several months now, and sources there love Shep Smith. The journalists there praise Shep Smith. They say that he was there trying to tell the truth in an environment where almost nobody else was, but now he couldn't take it anymore.
And nobody expected it. Here's what happened at that moment when he said, I'm Shep Smith, Fox News, New York. And then here's what happened.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I'm Neil Cavuto,
Whoa.
and like you, I'm a little stunned and a little heartbroken.
A little.
I don't know what to say. John, I apologize for being a little shell-shocked on this other development here, but take it away, sir.
Shell-shocked?
I've just been trying to compile my thoughts, too. Neil, I walked out to do the hit and suddenly got hit by a subway train. Holy mackerel.
Got hit by a subway train. Neil's going to have to change his diaper. He can't. Some of the stuff that I see on Fox News and on the internet, I'm telling you, if they ever find me dead at my computer, look at the last thing I was looking at, because that's what did me in. All right, and now we're going to go with number 2. And Kurt, how are we doing as far as time is concerned? We're fine. Okay, good. So let's have number 25, please.
John, I apologize for being a little shell-shocked on this other development here, but take it away, sir.
I've just been trying to compile my thoughts, too. Neil, I walked out to do the hit and suddenly got hit by a subway train. Holy mackerel.
I mean, his goodbye, he had put in the prompter, but no one knew.
And he headed straight to the elevator afterwards, straight home, because he was so emotional about this. It was a very hard decision for him. He thought he was doing something important by being on the air, reporting the news. He was also making $15 million a year. But sources had said to me, he wasn't in it for the money. He was in it to try to counter all of the nonsense the opinion hosts air all the time.
All right, so when you talk about what he was doing, he was speaking truth to power. I remember a conversation I had with him on the train once, and he was a really, he thought a lot about this and his role there. Here's some of the examples of times he spoke the truth.
Our reporting begins this Monday with President Trump's latest misleading and xenophobic eruption of distraction and division. He decries fake news that isn't and disseminates fake news that is. Think China pays the tariffs. The wall is going up. Historic inauguration crowds. Russia probe is a witch hunt. You need an ID to buy cereal. Noise from windmills causes cancer. It's endless. There is no known evidence to support President Trump's conspiracy theories about Biden's activities, as we have reported here repeatedly. The president also said in the tweet that the wall is going up rapidly. It is not. As we just reported, there is no new wall. The forecast showed East Coast Dorian. The Sharpie's magical addition added the coast of Alabama. Why would the President of the United States do this?
That is the only time a lot of viewers at Fox News heard those facts.
That's right. You know, there's nobody else on the air consistently rebutting the president's lies. Chris Wallace does it on Sundays.
Yes, he does.
Let's go back with
But Shep Smith is a unique voice on Fox. I think it's a loss for the country that he's suddenly leaving, and I suspect there's more to come about why he left.
All right.
Guys, I was trying to give Kurt a heads up. We got a couple extra minutes, am I right? Yeah. Okay, so let's go with number 16, Bill Maher, which was the best, funniest clip of the night. And guys, while it's playing, we're going to run the credits so we can thank everybody. And if you got time, check us out on Facebook. You know, I don't want to drive Kurt nuts, but if he puts up our Facebook page. And guys, you know, you're thinking, well, you know, Rich, you give Kenny Johnson the business all the time. But guys, I want to tell you, him and Uncle Joey never uses his real name. He uses the name John Wayne. So why you don't want to use your real name? That's his business. I don't know, but, you know, a lot of these conservatives, these Republicans, they got a lot to hide. So who am I to say? But guys, there is one thing I want to say. I don't think Trump's going to make it to Christmas. I think old St. Nick ain't going to be coming down the White House chimney. But anyway, so Kurt, how we making out with number 16? All right, hit it, and then we'll run the clips. And guys, who knows what's going to happen next week? But anyway, thanks for watching.
Fox News this week.
Kurt, run the credits when the time is right.
Like they're Grubhub. Not delivering for us.
Hey, does anybody know what's on that guy's shirt? That yellow
to just say
thing?
that out loud, to voice that interior monologue, is an amazing sickness. I mean, I
bet you none of the little kids knows what it is.
Okay, so then he sends, but he sends his attorney
There
general.
you go.
The Attorney General of America to talk to Rupert Murdoch, the head of Fox News, and the next day, Shepard Smith
is gone.
The big critic on Fox News.
The only the straight newsman, let's put it that way.
Yeah,
They're a straight news guy.
They didn't know we grew up in the Stone Age.
A little bit of a civil war there at Fox News.
Well, we actually have records
The
of
primetime people are ass lickers, but guys like this, I mean,
come on.
No,
I don't.
Sean Hannity?
I don't think that you can say that about Bret Baier. I think that's very.
I said the primetime people.
I guess I think of primetime differently, being from the East Coast.
I think we put Bret Baier in a different.
You're right, Bret Baier. Right, he's on the other side of it a little bit. You know, that could be a
straight news
and
guy.
guys, you know, the last thing I want to say tonight.
But
I can't believe that we had no monitors and we were able to get through. And I tell you, I'm so happy that we were able to make things happen.
Yes.
And
well, but the call was perfect.
That's how it works around here.
Was perfect.
Because
you know, we get thrown curveballs and
watching
boom,
those ass lickers you're talking about.
we hit them out of the park.
A totally different version
so anyway, I
of
want to
reality
thank Kurt.
that's spun out every single night on that network. And the
Yeah,
reality
where's
is,
the credits, Kurt? Are we that far ahead of
it's not just
time?
they're not delivering for him. It was the Fox News poll this week that said
I got
51% of the
657.
people in the country are now
All
for
right.
not just impeachment but removal.
I guess I talked
Fox
too
News
fast
poll.
tonight.
Right. That's what made him mad.
When the aforementioned Brett Baer went on the air that night and put that thing up big, that was the thing that caused Trump to lose his shit. Okay. It was like you're not just not delivering for me, you're shoving it in my face.
All right. Thank you, panel. I am.
All right. So once again, guys, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Channel 23 for giving us the opportunity to come here. You know, hey, in all honesty, if anybody knows anybody that's got a laptop that they're not using, do me a favor, give me a shout on Facebook, because I'll tell you, mine's about to bite the dust. And it doesn't owe me a penny. But when it comes to computers, I'd rather keep the money in my pocket, if you know what I mean. So if anybody's got an extra laptop sitting around, think of your old buddy, Uncle Rich. And you can contact us down at Channel 23 if worse comes to worse. But everybody, thanks a lot. We'll see you next week. Same time, same channel. Take care.